medical shows on the telly, I saw a documentary that said thousands of people over 60 have ADHD, and I thought, surely a hyperactive pensioner is a good thing. It might make them move a bit faster in the post office. And they'll finally be warm. Drugs Live was a weird show where people took drugs on TV and we watched the effects they had on them. I don't do drugs and I don't really drink, so sometimes if I want to mix things up, I'll put me clocks back an hour and then watch UK Gold +1. I tell you, it properly fucks you up. Is it now? Is it then? I like Nigella, but her sexy cooking has got out of hand. She only cooks things with plums in so she can look at the camera and go, plums. In saying that, a cock and ball bag pie was to die for. Now, when I was watching the last series of X Factor, it felt like I disagreed with everything the judges said. If I thought someone sang well, the judges didn't put them through. If I thought they were just noise in thrushy jeans... You've had those before, haven't you, Flo? They generally come with free caniston. Then they went straight through to boot camp. So I posted on Twitter, I disagree with everything the X Factor judges say. Does that mean I'm old, sensible or tone deaf? Some people said, oh, you're old like me. Others said, oh, you're sensible. And one person responded, you're a fat, unfunny dyke. And I thought they weren't any of the options I gave you. X Factor is a bit like being in a bad relationship. I keep going back. He never makes me happy. And I always get judged on my performance. It's weird they have the sub-stories on X Factor, but not on Strictly, isn't it? I mean, some of those poor buggers haven't had an acting job since the end of the 80s. Reality shows like Strictly and X Factor are always described as emotional roller coasters. I always thought an emotional roller coaster was when you found you couldn't fit in one of the seats. Oh, no, you go on. For me, X Factor is more like the log flume because thanks to Gary Barlow, I always end up a little bit wet. Now, dance shows are popular at the moment. There's So You Think You Can Dance, Got to Dance, and if it's a family party, you'd better bloody dance. I'm not looking like a tit on my own. The dancing show I'd like to see is Dances with Wolves. Just admire a celebrity dancing whilst crying. I'm going to pitch that. I love Strictly. As soon as Brucey danced out on the first episode, I just thought, I bloody love you. When he does his jokes... He always reminds me of Basil Brush. He's all teeth and expectation. Boom, boom. That's just his pacemaker. My man always said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So please welcome Strictly Judge Craig Revel Horwood.
Hello, darling.
Hello, welcome to the show, love.
Thank you, my love.
Now, you've had an interest in life, haven't you?
I have.
Can we expect to see the Craig Revel Horwood movie?
Well, that would be good, wouldn't it? I'd enjoy that. I don't know that the viewers would like it, though.
Who would play you in the film of your life? Would it Kylie or...?
That's not a bad idea. She just needs to grow 6 more feet, darling.
Have you got a lot of feet, have you? Were you always judgmental as a child?
I guess I was. I used to judge myself in a way. I used to put on little shows for my family at Christmas. I used to get dressed up in drag at 7, and then we had big, fabulous sliding doors, and I'd open them up and do, like, the big spender number and a feather boa and a blonde wig. My father chased me around the house, however.
Wasn't his wig, was it? When you say at 7, was that your age or was that the time of evening you did it? And then at 9... Do you dance at weddings?
No, I hate dancing at weddings.
Why?
Because I feel like I'm being judged. I know that sounds odd. Yeah, dancing in public has never been a good scenario for me.
It's good you've made a career off the back of it, though. The dancing is quite erotic, isn't it? It can be quite erotic on Strictly. Are you ever glad that you're behind a desk?
Well, I do like sexy dancing. It's got to be said, darling.
Who was the worst dancer you've ever had?
I think that was Quentin Wilson.
And what about on the show? Who was worse between John Sargent and Anne Widdecombe?
Anne Widdecombe, although she did manage to polish the floor.
Have you ever held up the wrong number by mistake and then have to bluff your way through given that score?
We have little buzzers that we press, and I have accidentally pressed the number next to the number I wanted. And then, of course, I had to try and... because it was a low score, and I had to then try and find as many things wrong with it as I could.
I love the fact that you said there that it was quite a low score, like you ever give anything higher than that.
I remember it was a 4, but I wanted to give a 7, you see, so it was a bit of a disaster.
So instead of just pausing and saying, I'm sorry, I've made a mistake, let's do it again, you just carried on saying how shit they were.
It's live television, what can you do, darling?
Be nicer. Have you ever regretted being too harsh?
Only once, when I called Patsy Palmer a scrubber and a puffer jacket that cries all the time. I did regret that, actually. She's a very lovely lady.
Were you getting her mixed up with that character again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to do, isn't it? And finally, you were the face of British Sausage Week.
Don't go any further with that.
You can't tell me what to do, I'm not dancing.
I was king of the sizzle.
Be honest, when you signed up to it, did you think you were signing up to something different?
No, I knew exactly what I was in for, but I loved the trophies that I used to hand out. They were complete big sausages, probably about that big, all gold, and they looked exactly like dildos. They were hilarious. And I had to hand them to every butcher that won for the best sausage.
That might be the best job anybody's ever had. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Revel Horwood. Britain's Got Talent is tricky. You can't compare jugglers and dancing dogs. Yes, you can, because jugglers are shit. I like to see them practising backstage, the juggler juggling and the dog going mental watching all the balls. Just you're the bloody thing. And I think if a dog can really dance, put it on Strictly. Brendan Cole has finally met his match. He does strike me as something of a leg humper anyway. It must be hard for the contestants on Britain's Got Talent. Being buzzed off by David Walliams is not as fun as it sounds. I buzz myself off at home all the time. It's the only way I can watch the show. I once drove past the Britain's Got Talent audition queue in Birmingham. I didn't know that's what it was at the time. I assumed it was the Dole office. hula hoop. Britain's Got Talent went all over the world. Canada's Got Talent ran for only one series. Turns out, nope. Andrew Lloyd Webber does those talent shows where he tries to find something good for the West End of London. In my experience, it'd be more toilets. And fewer twats. I love those Search for a Star programmes, especially the Lloyd Webber Job Centre ones. But when someone got voted off, it was brutal, wasn't it? For the Wizard of Oz, the one leaving had to hand in her ruby slippers. Ouch. For The Sound of Music, the rest of the contestants sang So Long, Farewell. Brutal. I don't know if you saw the Jesus Christ Superstar one. They nailed him to a cross. If you come back on Sunday, the job's yours. Now, I've always enjoyed judging people. You, horrible top. To do it professionally? Well, let's ask someone who knows and add a bit of girl power to the proceedings. Please welcome superstar judge Melanie C. Hello, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I'm so excited to have an actual Spice Girl in the room. I'm a massive
actual
fan.
real life one.
And the best one. See, I'm right. Now, I've got a really important question that I've been dying to ask you. What is it like when Victoria smiles?
You must have seen a smile.
She's got such a pretty face that if she smiled, it would be so lovely.
Well,
is it nice? Is it like Narnia?
Yes. The thing is with Victoria, if you're with her in private, she's so funny and she's always laughing and joking and smiling. But I think, you know, she's one of the most written about and photographed women in the world, and I think her pout is her armour. That's how she feels comfortable.
To protect herself, I
Yeah,
suppose.
yeah.
Okay. Next time we see her, just get her to sneak one out once in a while.
Well, what am I
mean, a
doing?
smile. That sounds terrible. What was the audition for the Spice Girls like?
It was weird. The first thing was on how you looked and how you moved. And they were just like, no, yeah, like that.
That's harsh.
And then you came back to sing, yeah.
So singing was very secondary, was it?
I fell into that trap.
You told us the truth. You should have lied and said the singing was first.
Yes.
If the Spice Girls turned up to an audition now, who would you put through and who would you send home if you were on the other side of the table?
How mean is that?
I totally went there. Shut your face.
You know what? With the girls, we all would admit we all had different strengths and we just tried to play to that. And there were some great singers in the band. Everyone can sing, but some were stronger than others and some are better dancers than others. And, you know, a band needs all of that. I think with the Spice Girls, what made us so successful was our chemistry and our energy.
It would have been better if you'd picked one, but it's fine. We'll add that in later on.
Just ask me a question and say one of the names and then edit it in.
It's all editing, it's fine. Now, when I've had a crappy day, and this is true, I put the Spice Girls on and I dance around in my nightie in my flat. Is there music that you always put on when you've had a crappy day?
I like some like big ballads, and I like, because singing makes me feel great.
Right.
So I like really give it loads. I do that in the car as well, and I don't think about people seeing you.
At traffic lights, when you pull up and you glance across and you realise they've just seen you feeling for beard. It's dangerous to get your tweezers out, but you can. But if you've got nails, you can just try and get a couple. Now, you helped find Jesus, obviously, for Jesus Christ Superstar with Andrew Lloyd Webber. On a scale of 1 to 10, how creepy is he in person?
I have to say about Andrew, I think he's probably the most misunderstood person in the public eye, but he's a genius. And I was astounded by him. He was funny, he was quick, and he was so kind to the contestants.
I need to press you for a number.
0. He's not creepy,
Aww.
he's lovely.
Well, later on, we'll get you to say loads of numbers all in a row. And then we'll just cut one in.
Like Jerry Halliwell. 7.
Told us which one you would have sent home.
Was it really Jerry?
How do you think the actual Jesus would have done on the show? I love what you've done with the loaves and fishes, but you sound a bit karaoke to me. What advice would you give to someone on how to win over the public on a talent show?
Well, my advice would be to always be yourself. Unless you're really boring or a bit of a knob.
Unless you're really boring or a bit of a knob.
Yeah.
And then you should suppress that. And try and be nice
just be
despite
really
that.
fake. Yeah.
Just be really fake. That's the best advice ever. Advice for life. Now, the whole Olympics was obviously just a cover for the real agenda, which was to get the Spice Girls back together. No, that's fact. Whose idea was it to get you all in Zimmer frames?
Yeah.
I think we've got a photo of this on top of the taxis. Of all the Spice Girls, who do you think is aged the best? Because I think they've all aged really well.
Looking pretty good, actually. We're doing all right. We're all, like, getting close to 40, or someone is 40.
Which one's 40?
Your favourite.
You're my favourite.
Oh,
No, genuinely.
Thanks.
Really
I'm
are.
38.
I'm 37.
Yeah.
I don't know what I've won, but I've definitely won. Maybe as an ending, maybe you could judge how I've interviewed you. How did I do?
Well, you know, I've been interviewed a lot of times by lots of different people all over the world for many years, and that was one of them. No, I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it.
I'm still 37. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Melanie C. Now, let's talk about medical shows. I love One Born Every Minute, the documentary set in a maternity ward. Thankfully, there isn't one born every minute in the show. I don't know if I could watch 60 pixelated nunnies one after the other. Mine doesn't look like that. Hers is all squared off. My pain threshold is very low. At my second ever smear test, oh yes, we're going there. I was pretty tense. I think the first one, you don't really know what's going to happen. And then the second one, you know exactly what's going to happen. When the nurse had finished, she saw how tense I still was and said, "You're going to have to relax, love, because if you don't, you're going to be taking it home." I've seen the women on One Born Every Minute with a baby stuck halfway out. If that was me, I'd say, you know what? Just leave it. I'll buy bigger pants. If I take my bra off, my boobs will probably still reach. One Born Every Minute is a very female-heavy programme, understandably. But, you know, they could encourage more men to watch by having an honest male voiceover. Something like, "Tracy is making a fuss." "Tracy is crying again." Tracy should remember whose idea this was in the first place. Medical dramas are good for men because they hate going to the doctors. My boyfriend got a box set in the hope the rash he'd got would crop up on Quincy. I saw Dr. Christian on a new version of his show called Embarrassing Old Bodies. It was daft o'clock in the morning and I'm watching old men's todgers. And I thought, it's time for bed. And I mean, as in, ooh, it's time for bed. Not like in it, it's time for bed. Now, I'm the youngest and I was always a little bugger to my older sister. My mum used to pick her up whenever she used slang. So my sister would say, I'm gone out. And my mum would reply, you're going out. And I would irritatingly parrot, you're going out. Then one time, my sister had been to hospital about a bad finger, and when she came back, I said, what's the matter with it? She said, it's gangrene. And I went, it's going green. I love on Holby. You know, when they go in with a bad ankle, they always get told they've actually got a problem with the heart. It's like a mechanic padding out the bill. Have you noticed that all of the extras seem to do the rounds of the other soaps? I find myself watching someone on their deathbed and thinking, let the bugger die. He was shoplifting from Rita's cupboard last week. You know, I think I'd be useless in Casualty. Oh, I've told my mum not to ring us while I'm at work. Oh, no, my God, I'm actually in Casualty, aren't I? Please welcome Tony Marshall, Azuka, Oforka, Suzanne, Pepper and Charlie Dale from Casualty. Welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming. Now, do any of you walk past people up ladders or using a chainsaw and think, oh, I know what's going to happen here. I've seen this one.
No, that hasn't happened.
That's never happened? Do people ever confuse you with your roles? Suzanne, for example, do people ever just lob it out and say, do you mind having a look at this, pet?
They do it on a Sunday morning when I'm trying to nip into a DVD shop in my pyjamas, and then they start asking me advice on their bleeding piles.
Wow. Now, your character, Big Mac.
Big Mac.
You've been a hospital porter for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just lack ambition?
He's like me. He's just happy where he is.
He's happy where he
He's
is.
happy where
Anything
he
for a
is.
peaceful life.
Exactly.
I like it. Why does no one on Casualty ever know that they're pregnant before they end up just pushing a baby out? It's not like we don't know what causes it.
I think perhaps we've got a lot of fuller-figured actresses, perhaps, and they don't notice. I speak as a fuller-figured member.
So you think women are fatter and they don't know they're pregnant?
You asked the question, not me.
No, I asked the question. You answered like that, though, Flower.
Well,
Shall we move on? Now, you know this. How do you get blood out of your clothes? Is it the same as red wine? Do you have to, like, splash on a white bodily fluid? A couple of people go, and I've tried that. It doesn't work. You just end up with a hell of a mess on your carpet. Have any of you ever tried just kissing it better? When you're at work and somebody's not very well,
Yeah.
just try kissing it better. Does that?
Oh, kissing it better.
Yeah. What do you think I said?
I don't know.
Did you think I said kissing it bigger? Why on Casualty, now it's been going a long time, hasn't it? Have you never had an accident where someone's been hoovering and... and their trousers fall down and they trip and they end up with the hose up their arsehole? Because my friend's boyfriend said that this happens all the time.
All the time.
We have had a mobile phone in a certain area.
Did you?
I think they were checking the ringtone or something.
I can't add anything anything funnier to that.
Excuse me. Yes. Yes, the visiting hours from 2 till 8. No problem. All right, bye.
Alby City Casualty Unit. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, you poor thing. Does it smell a bit? Is there a discharge? Really? That is a lot, isn't it? No, don't come in. But Channel 5 might want to make a documentary about you. Oh, just take 2 Nurofen and try not to scratch your flower. What's happening over here? Who's this then?
Excuse me, are you medically qualified?
In a Gillian McKeith sort of way. So, no, not really. But I've got my own uniform. It's white clean. Inside and out. Plums.
Nurse, patient's complaining of pain in the lower legs.
Oh, I'm going in for CPR. Nelly the elephant packed a trunk. It's everybody the circus. Join in if you know it. Off she went with a trumpety trump, 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 trump. Oh.
We're losing him.
Right, give me the jump starting thing. Clear! No. Work with us, Flower. Have you not seen the telly ever? When I do the doof, you do the jump at the same time. Is that all right? We'll get you in order. It'll be champion, love. Yeah, OK, right. OK. Clear? Clear!
Excuse me, love. Where do you think you're going with that now?
This is bloody brilliant. I'm taking it home. Thanks so much for coming on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Tony, Azuka, Charlie, and Suzanne from Casualty. That's it for tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to talk about House, Hugh Laurie's limp, although he wouldn't be if I got my hands on him. The documentary, The Man Who Looks Like a Tree. He looks better now that he's had his roots done. And we haven't had time to talk about Embarrassing Bodies Live, which is just the changing room at Primark. Good night.
Destined to take that smile off your face, I'm betting. It's Newsnight coming up next here on BBC HD.